Hmm. This sounds pretty interesting to me. I'm waiting. Hey Drew, how you doing today? Ooh, the latency is so fun. So it'll take a minute after I say something. So, oh, it's Drew. Hey, Horror Queen, how you doing? And there's my good friend Patty. Always good to see you. Always good to see everybody. Hey, Tarvan, I hope I got your name right. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Colleen. Horror Mysteries 103. Hope you're doing great. You know, sorry it's kind of started a little bit late. And I'm sorry if it sounds weird. I couldn't get my headset microphone working, so because of that, it took me quite a while to get this started. I am happy to see everybody. Yeah, I don't have a webcam, so when I do this, I try to add pictures or something. Hey Joshua, how you doing? Oops, and Miss A, sorry I missed you there, Ms. A. Nice to see you. Now, a little bit of a dry mouth today, so sorry you might hear me drinking some water while we talk. Okay, that wasn't water, that was Pepsi. Now, yeah, I'm using another microphone because my headset mic is not working for some reason, so it's going to probably sound a little strange. Oh, Killer Gray Cat. We'll say hi to the Killer Gray Cat from me too. Now, I get to tell you guys about the interesting few days that we've had. Do you know a guy played Pee Wee Herman passed away? Yeah, Paul Reubens. I like Paul Reubens. I know he got into some weird things here and there, and but he did amuse me. So, anyhow, there's been this thing that, for the entire time that my sister and I have lived here, we have a house, a trailer right next to our house. And for some reason, there's been tons of different people move in, move out, who they drive through our yard. Now we don't have a car, so our driveway kind of grass grew in it, and we don't really have a driveway anymore. But the neighbors drive through our yard, and we tell them not to do it. Pisses me off like you wouldn't believe. How's her ankle? I'm getting to that. I'm going to tell you guys the whole story. So, this is what happens. I was in my sister's bedroom talking to her, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw an SUV driving through our yard. So I get up and I go outside. I'm angry as hell. And as I go outside, I stop in front of the car and tell the lady off. And she looked a little scared. She knew I was pretty pissed off. I told him, if she does it again, I'm calling the police. And I was mad as hell. And I went back into the house and was just angry. And my sister got mad. So she was going to go over there and talk to them. Now, there's an older guy who lives there who's very nice. He was a war veteran too. But he's nice to talk to. I mean, he talks a lot. But she went over there to tell them, stop driving through our yard. He doesn't do it. There's a lot of people that are in that house at different times. So, anyhow, she was mad. So she went over there, knocked on the door a few times. She said she could tell somebody was there, but nobody was answering the door. So what happens is, when she turns around, they have a loose step. They have 3 wooden steps. One of them is loose. And that's when she fell and was calling for me to come over because she said she heard something snap. So I went over to look at her, and yeah, her ankle, nothing went through the skin, but you could tell it was messed up. So we called an ambulance. Ambulance came and they took her. I wasn't allowed to ride with her, so I had to take a taxi. Now I want to get this right because I don't know exactly. She was in the hospital for a couple of days. Her bone was broken in 3 places. So I was in there when they were trying to set the bone back in place. They were like, "Oh, do you want to leave the room while we do this?" No. I can stay in here. It doesn't bother me. I'm sure she was in a hell of a lot of pain. I saw the look on her face when they said it too. Wasn't pretty. And they told her that they would have to do surgery. And so she went into shock. She went into shock when she was going into the ambulance. I was talking to her, and she didn't seem like she could even understand me at all. So anyhow, she goes into the ambulance. They go take her to the hospital. And her blood pressure was like super low. They even encouraged her to eat some salty food to try to get her blood pressure up. They couldn't do this. They couldn't give her pain relievers right away because her blood pressure was so low. So anyhow, she goes there for 2.5 days. She came home today. It's very difficult for her to move at all. So it was very difficult getting her into the house. They recommended that she use a walker, I guess, instead of a crutch. And it hasn't seemed like it's easy for her to use. So she snapped it pretty bad. Now, here's the thing about all of this. People who own that house, it's a company. They had been there several times. They drive through our yard. And they know I don't like it, because one time they did it and they were laughing at me when I came out to yell at them. Well, they're not going to be laughing very long, because I have a lawyer already set up. And I am going to sue the living daylights out of them. Hey, Diego. Nice to see you. So yeah, they're not going to be laughing. I got probably the best personal injury lawyer in Tennessee. And they took the case. Just like that. I told them, yep. And even the man who lives there, the guy who officially rents the house, told us that he has asked them several times to fix that step that she slipped on. So they are in trouble. So we're going through that right now. Again, since I'm okay with the renters, I mean, the guy who rents the house, and we went over there and we took film of the steps and sent that to the lawyer. I kind of wish I could have got it recorded when he said about but the thing is, I assume that the lawyers will probably go there to interview them. So or they'll probably have an investigator or something do that. So, yep, we are going to take them to the cleaners. And trust me, if it's probably just going to be a settlement with their insurance. But I would love if it was like an actual case and they were there, because when I won, I would be the one laughing. And then I go drive through their yard. So, hey Dan, you're a cool guy too. It's so long since I've done this. Forgot how much I like it. You know, talking to you guys. I wanted to make sure I got something out today because, you know, I promised a video, and I've not had, with all that's going on, I've not had time to do anything. So I thought we'd chat for about an hour, you know, and see what's going on. I did a lot of things wrong with the live stream. I didn't set up the monetization, which is fine, but I was having so much problems in my microphone. My headset mic's not working. I had to take the mic that I used to record on, and I had to set it like a little far away from me. So I'm sorry if anybody hears any noises. It's a very powerful, sensitive microphone. Hospital bills are expensive, and my sister doesn't have any insurance. But she's not going to be paid for it. They are. So, I'm in a good mood, and I'm good. Okay, this time I grabbed the water. So, eventually, I don't know when, but eventually we're actually going to get on this schedule that I talked about. I got some pretty good stories right now. Got to get them edited. You know, I like to read everything in my voice. So I don't always do that, but for example, our good friend Chimera Cat, I don't edit her stories, and her husband William, who I call Big W. You can guess why. But anyhow, I don't edit their stories. And those would be sometimes about once a month when I get one of those really long 20-minute to 30-minute videos. They're my friends there that wrote those. And I'm not going to edit. I'm not going to edit the long stories, so. Now, yeah, because I think that if I get to the schedule, you know, maybe my views will start going up again, because it's been kind of bad lately, and I guess it's probably because I haven't been around as much as I used to. You know, after my brother passed away, and then after my cat had to be put to sleep. Not Ichigo, it was Drusilla, the black cat, but she was my favorite. The cats can't hear this, I think, so. But Drew was my favorite. She picked me. Christy, hi. Are you adding a video now? No, I won't have a video tonight. I'm sorry. I might have one tomorrow. I know it's Thursday. It's not the schedule that I wanted to stick to. But with all that's going on with my sister, I didn't have a chance to actually do a video, so I apologize for that. I want to get on this Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, so that means you'll have at least 9 stories a week. And also what I'm planning on doing is to do some shorts. My sister and I are going to start doing some, if you guys remember horror cliche theater, we're going to try to do some more of those. My sister is going to probably do some shorts. I will probably do shorts where I put up a video of a cat and read a 2-sentence horror story. I have a few of them. I keep looking at the how many people are watching. It goes up into the 20s and goes down to the 14s. It's like, I'm losing people. What am I doing wrong? But it's like you're not telling a scary story. You're just talking about your life. But yeah, I thought I wrote one 2-sentence horror story that I told somebody and they said it was gut wrenching. But the thing is, I don't know if I can narrate it because people might think it's political, and it's not. And you know, I don't talk about politics. Politics have nothing to do with my channel, so I completely do not say anything about politics. It's a horror channel, and we're supposed to be, scary stuff and entertaining. And politics divides people too much. I like everybody, so. Everyone doesn't like me, but there are a few people who hate me a lot on Mortis Media's channel when we did our last collaboration. Someone said, "Oh God, I hate Killer Orange Cat. His voice is like nails on a chalkboard," and I'm like, "Screw you." It's like, I'm not doing something like working a job for her. It's like I'm giving you free entertainment. If you don't like me, don't like me. You don't got to be mean about it. Azrael's Mercy, evening to you too. I love that name. When I was I'm sure you don't mean this, but when I was a kid, I had a stuffed animal of Azrael, the cat from the Smurfs. I really love that stuffed animal. So. But yeah, it's really kind of strange. Hey, we're back up to 20. Would be nice to get back up to the times when I was getting tens of thousands of views, but I think once I get everything settled out, we're doing stuff regularly, a schedule. That's why I want to do the schedule. That'll probably help, and we are going to do the schedule, and I will do my absolute best to stick to it, I promise. And Miss A, I've always liked you and I love your voice. Oh, thank you. I hear my voice a lot. When I do the sound editing, I'm always happy when I'm done with this, so I don't have to listen to myself anymore. But I'm glad other people do. I know people say I kind of have a weird voice for doing this. I get a lot of compliments, I'm a struggling narrator, and you were my first subscriber. Yes! I remember that. I went there, I think I remember going there and seeing no subscribers, so I did that. Colleen, thank you very much. Yeah, it's like, I don't think anybody would ever hire me to narrate a movie or something, or a documentary. I don't really have that kind of voice. I think I just have an everyday voice. I used to have a friend who used to call me Mr. Sexy Voice. Oh, it's Mr. Sexy Voice. I always enjoyed that. Although I'm not really good at getting compliments. I tomorrow would have been my sister's 54th birthday. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, my brother would have turned 50 this year if he didn't pass away. Do you miss him incredibly? We weren't close when we were younger. He was kind of an asshole, but for the last 5 years of his life, we got along great. So I think you'd be awesome in the Tales from the Crypt reboot. Oh, I would love that so much. I'm looking forward to the new season of Creepshow, which is, I think, coming out in September. The new I think there's a couple of Futurama episodes out. I'm a big Futurama fan. Although, you know, the original 4 seasons is the best part, but I liked it when it was revived. I hope I like it when it's revived again. He's got a handsome face to go along with that voice, so thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't, the reason I don't do live streams with webcams anymore is just because I don't have a webcam. And I'm lazy, you know, it's not even that expensive to get. But see, when I first started this, I did everything on a laptop. But that laptop doesn't work anymore, so my mom bought me a desktop computer. That was I don't know, that might have been around 2018, I think. She bought me, and that's why I switched to it. I've been using a desktop ever since. I had that for a few years, and then last October, my sister and mom built me my current computer, which is awesome. Oh Lord, I didn't know I had my VPN on. I hope that doesn't cause any problems, but yeah. See, and you know when I talk, I just keep on going off on to subject to subject to subject. I hope all is well with you too, Ezreal's Mercy. Yeah, I haven't done a live stream in a long time. I'm always a bit nervous when I first do it, and obviously I'm always late too. I don't think I've ever started a live stream on time. But here's another funny thing. I don't know if you all realize this, but some of the stories that are narrated are actually things that have happened to me, and it kind of I was sitting there when I was writing the last story that happened to me. I was sitting there writing it, and I'm like, damn, Jake, you have lived a pretty scary life sometimes. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I'm just gonna call you Death because I don't know if I can pronounce the rest. But hi, I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, we're up to 25 now. That's not bad. My wife and I love your channel. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Much love right back to you. Now, I really wanted August to go a little bit better. So, technically, since I'm doing the live stream, I am giving you a video, and we'll talk about some country stuff a little bit later. And when I do that, that will be considered Country Wednesday. Because we'll do Country Wednesday, but I was a little taken aback by my last video. It's not done very well. But I appreciate everybody who watches them and gives me likes and comments. I'm sorry, I try to answer all comments when I can. It's just not always possible for me to do so. So, back to the 2-sentence horror story that I was talking about. I want to tell you guys it, but I don't want to tell you guys it. Because that's how controversial it is. And I was sharing it with somebody, and they said, yeah, you shouldn't tell anyone that. It's just a little bit. See, now I'm going to probably make you guys all wonder. You're all wondering, what is it? What is it? What is it? But I really don't think I could tell anybody, because then people will get all political. And no, it. Oh my, wow, we went down from 30 to 21. I guess I offended 9 people. But oh, yeah, I don't know. I made a promise. Hey, Medio's here. How you doing? You gotta let me think about it. Because that's how bad it is. And I was expecting maybe like, maybe a certain sister of mine could have showed up and talked to people. Don't know if she's listening. She definitely isn't in the chat. If she is, then she could talk about her leg. Would have invited her to join and talk in the stream, but I had enough problems setting it up for myself. So, you gotta let me think about the two-sentence horror story. It's those people who had paper thin skin, all of them get offended by you not even saying what it is. Oh, yeah. It's kind of mean for me to do that, I know, to tell you guys and build this thing up so much and then not tell you about it. But, it's, I figured, like, yeah, two-sentence horror story shorts on Tuesdays and Thursdays, then videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and stuff like that. Now we want to know. Yeah, I know. I should have never brought it up. Yeah. But no, it's bad. So, have you ever seen My Hero Academia? I started watching it. I probably saw maybe 15 episodes. I liked it. I didn't stop watching it because of that. I think it was because where I was watching it, it was a streaming service, I'm pretty sure, and we discontinued the streaming service. We discontinued it, so no telling. Save it for a video. Yeah, lordy. This is the time when I need my sister to be here to like advise me, and she's whether I should or not. It was definitely her who said not to do it, but I'm thinking about it. I'm considering it. But I'm typing horribly. You can type any way you want to. It's fine. I'm not going to judge your typing. I'm not an editor. I'm the editor. No. I definitely don't have an ego like that. But I missed earlier. Any tips for making videos? That's hard to tell you because I'm not really that great at it. What I do is, I get most of the stories I get are from people on forums. I don't think anybody else does this. They go to Reddit and pick stories like that. What I do is I go to maybe a wrestling forum or the Unsolved Mysteries forum. Forums are dying, but that's one of the reasons I can get stories from them. So I'll go there and I'll say, "Hey, I'm a YouTube horror narrator. Does anybody have a scary story they can tell me?" And they'll tell me the scary story, and I'll write it down for them. And that's why everything appears in my voice when I do it. Hey, we're down to 15 people. I need more love than this. But that's how I get a lot of my stories. And it works, and that's why I can keep things original. Now, they're original, but no longer exclusive to me. Everyone told me not to share them with anybody, but I do share my stories with Blue Spooky. He's allowed to read them after I read them. It's always had to be read first for me, and then he can have them on his channel afterwards. And the reason I did that is because he and I started out together. There were three of us that kind of like worked to help each other. It was Blue Spooky, me, and Joey's Nightmares. Joey, I haven't heard from Joey in a while. I don't think he's updated his channel in over a year. But we three started out together. So I let him use my stories because of that, And he's a good friend and stuff. So I did that, but he's the only one. If I hear him on anybody else's channel, I think it's funny. Some people are like, "I heard these stories before already." I'm like, "No, you didn't." No, I can guarantee you didn't. Uh, I have caught people using my stories before, and I have not been nice about it. Somebody used one of my 2-sentence horror stories and claimed that they wrote it. Fortunately, everything I have is copywritten, so that 2-sentence horror story was one that I did in a collaboration with another channel, but I only read my 2-sentence horror stories. Every one that I get, I wrote myself. That one was... My dad told me that there's no such thing as vampires. That doesn't explain why he drinks my blood every night. I don't know if I got it completely right there, but that was what the story was. And I listened to 2-sentence horror stories a lot. I still love them. When I heard it on someone's channel, they claimed authorship of it, and I was not happy, because I'm very protective of my work. It's even harder to find nightmare stories. That's all I wanted to stick to. You want people to tell you their nightmares, and you write down their nightmares, because I find it very interesting. I could definitely give you some of mine if I have time, but I've had some pretty bad nightmares. I'll tell you... Oh, I'm sorry, the mic fell over. Okay, this might be a little painful. Sorry about that. I'm so professional at this, aren't I? Can you guys still hear me fine? Let me know if it sounds weird or anything. It should be stable right now. But they're stealing? I don't know what you mean by that. I dreamt about Florida earlier. Hey, Gringo. Now, this is my friend, Gringo 300. He and I both run the fandom for the A Nightmare on Elm Street series. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. He does everything. He came and he completely redid the entire thing. It's amazing how much work he's put into it, and he's completely changed and saved it when it wasn't looking so good. Went through almost every article, cleaned up the language, cleaned up the mistakes, literally added hundreds of new articles to it. The work he's done on that is amazing. Although he always tells me that I'm not going to be able to do this, and then he does it anyway. So he's a good guy. So I wanted to say hi to him. So a couple more highs. I hope I pronounced that right. Sadistica, is that it? That's kind of neat. I like that. And hey, Darren, how you doing? Lucid dreams. I have had lucid dreams. I used to be very good at lucid dreaming. There was a time where I was getting really deeply into my Shawnee heritage, and I was talking to like a mystic or medicine man. You wouldn't. It's offensive to say medicine man. It is, really is. But I don't really know what else to say. He didn't have like a title. He was just a guy who was involved in sort of the mystic parts of being a Shawnee Indian, and he taught me how to lucid dream. And when I was on Ambien, I could lucid dream, and it was pretty amazing. And what's with the running theme of Mr. Bean and vampires? I have no idea what you're talking about. Shaman, yeah, that works too. The shaman works, but yeah, he taught me that. He taught me a few things that were pretty neat. I'm doing great. I feel really good today. Hope you're doing good too. My sister probably wishes she felt a little bit better, but they gave her some Vicodin because so hopefully that helps. But yes, shaman works. I'm like super thirsty, but for some reason my sense of taste seems kind of dull. I don't really know how to explain it. It's like I can't. Maybe it's allergy. Maybe it's like an allergy or something acting up, but I can't really taste very well. It's weird. But the the Pepsi I took a taste of, it seemed like it was really dull. This has happened to me before, and I really just don't know why. See, this is like me in real life. You can't get me to shut up. My great grandfather was full Cherokee out of Missouri. That's great. Now there's not a whole lot of Shawnee left. That's Ohio Valley Shawnee, which is very unfortunate. I think there's only like 2,000 speakers of the language too. I don't know any of it. So I'm near a Choctaw reservation. That's great. I was almost adopted. I sadly don't remember the name of the tribe. It was a tribe in Pennsylvania that is not very well known. Who, when I was into this, I had been with them for a while, and they offered to do an adoption, but I had to leave at the time, so I couldn't go through that, which was very unfortunate because I would have liked to. This would have been. Ooh, I almost said what year it is. Don't want to do that. Might find out how old I am. Well, I'm turning 18 again, so that's good. But anyhow, yeah, I was really into it, and into the American Indian. I say American Indian because as most people don't know it, I don't think, but a lot of American Indians find the term Native American to be the offensive term, and American Indian to not be. So it goes back and forth like that. But I say American Indian, and yeah, it's Shawnee, and it's on both sides of the family, so. My cousin looks the most. Could be your meds. Why you can't taste things? Maybe it's possible. I take a lot of medication. I take Prozac for my obsessive compulsive disorder. Metoprolol, Amlodipine, and lisinopril for blood pressure. High blood pressure runs in my family. That's why we were surprised when my sister had low blood pressure. I take gabapentin for my epilepsy. And I was taking a cholesterol pill because high cholesterol runs in the family too. And I believe you're 38. That could be a good guess, but I'm not going to tell you. My Aunt Linda could see the future. That could be interesting. But yeah, so I have a lot of things. Oh, and I take Jardiance for. I'm not technically diagnosed with diabetes, but I think the next time I go to my doctor's appointment later this month, it'll become official. I should put like something up in front of this screen there, so I'm not constantly seeing how many people are in here. I keep looking over there. The RX and carbs. I'm a little away from the screen because it looked like carbs there for a second. I believe you're 38. It's interesting. I had a very strong connection with my grandmother. We both had dreams of things before they happened, so we were able to change the course of our actions. Kind of cool. Kind of scary. It is kind of scary. Is that something you wrote down and put on your channel? That would be interesting. See, we're back down to 15. I keep looking. I don't really care. I'm happy when anyone's here, but again, I'm obsessive compulsive, and I'm extremely obsessive compulsive. I have in the past been on disability for it, so I can tell you guys a little bit about that. That's kind of scary, actually. It was because of a movie. I'm kind of getting a little weirded out talking about it. I've had OCD my entire life. You would be able to tell if you had lived with me, but I didn't really know, and I was never diagnosed. And House of a Thousand Corpses, for some reason, super triggered my OCD. And when I finally went to a doctor, they were like, yeah, you should have come like a lot sooner. And she was very close to admitting me to a psychiatric ward, and that's one of the reasons I never went to a doctor, is because I was scared to death of being in a psych ward. So she knew that and was like, well, if we won't put you in the hospital, we're going to try this, and you have to be very careful. You're going to have to call me, and because the medicine can kind of mess you up, they put me on antipsychotics. I was taking several antipsychotics, and that was fun though, because if there was a line for a water fountain, I could just pull up the pills and say, guys, I need to take my antipsychotics. That will get you to the front of the line every time. Gabapentin could be the reason you can't taste things. No, gabapentin has the opposite effect of that on me. Gabapentin makes me want to eat anything. So, like 2 hours, when gabapentin peaks in like 2 hours, I'm insatiable. I eat everything. 36. Might be a good guess. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? It's good to see you. I'm doing great. I'm a little loopy, if you can't tell. I don't know why. I can't taste things, which, is a little frustrating, but especially because I have Pepsi, and trust me, I like tasting Pepsi. But yeah. He won't tell his age. So cute. Now let me explain that. Why I don't do that. And it doesn't have anything to do with being old or young or whatever. people focus too much on how old they are, but what is how old you are? It's how many times the Earth has gone around the sun since you were born. I don't really see how that means anything. So even when I was like, 21, I didn't tell people my age. So so that'll tell you at least that I'm over 21. But no, I just it's always been weird to me, and I think it's kind of pointless. So, but I'm glad you think it's cute. I like being cute. Since you're turning 18 again, thought 18 times 2, 36. Oh, very interesting. Putting some thought into it. Oh yeah, when I take gabapentin, I pig out. Well, I want to pig out since I take it for my epilepsy all the time. Now that was a scary moment too. I don't know if I've told that in the story, but my my grandma lived with a guy for well over 30, maybe 40 years. They never got married, but they lived together, and I didn't like being around him when nobody else was there. First of all, because he was a really dirty old man, and having a guy who's like in his late 80s talk about sex with me it's not very appealing. So there was one day when I was sleeping and I looked out the window and the car was gone. He was the only one there. Plus he was he's old, really old, so he kept the house like burning hot. It was like it was almost like he wanted to keep the house temperature his age. Didn't have anything to drink. I didn't want to be around him, so I didn't come downstairs, and I slept up in the upstairs. So I spent the time just watching some stuff on my computer. And later, I was downstairs when everyone got home, getting some water, and I had to grab something upstairs. So I walked up the steps, and that's where my memory ends. Everything was just black and non-existent, but it's really weird because like I was aware of the darkness, and when I woke up I was lying in bed and there were all these people standing around me. My sister, my mom, a couple other people were there, and I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who I was. It was just like, what? I don't know. So I started crying because it was like, I couldn't tell. And over the course of maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, my memory came back. And what happened was I went upstairs and I had a seizure. I was later diagnosed with epilepsy, and I have partial seizures. And when I have partial seizures, I'll have auditory or visual hallucinations. A lot of time it's somebody pounding on my door, or yelling my name, telling me something. I've seen ghosts, which at the time I thought were actually ghosts. Now I'm more likely to believe they were hallucinations. I saw one ghost that I saw. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you that story in a minute, because this is a horror channel. I should tell you guys some scary stuff. But the seizure was scary, and interestingly enough, I was taking Ativan at the time for my anxiety, and Ativan is also anticonvulsant. I hadn't taken it that day because my pills were downstairs and I didn't want to go down there and get. So that could be one of the many things that led me to having that seizure. They kept me on Ativan for a while. I did not like it. I didn't like the depressed feeling from it. But they changed me to gabapentin, and I couldn't be happier. Like I said, I'll still have hallucinations if I don't take it. Sometimes I'll have one even if I do. I haven't had one in a while, but I mean the last one was somebody pounding on the door and Jake, and it's like, oh, okay. So okay, let me tell you a little interesting story. I think this one is in one of my videos, but it's a really old one, so people might not remember it. After I acknowledge that Gringo is almost 46. So he's been around the world, he's been around the sun almost 46 times. Yeah. Have you tried medical marijuana for any of your conditions? I have not. However, I probably wouldn't. I don't like marijuana. I kind of liked it a tiny bit when I was in college. But when there was a couple guys, my brother was here and my friend Jerry was here, living here for a while, and they smoked it all the time. And it's how it deadens. Just I can't think straight. It's like my brain. I'm sure this is probably how it is with a lot of people, but I don't like the dull brain feeling, which I guess is what everyone likes about it. So probably wouldn't be my thing. Although maybe if they put it, I've never had like an edible before. Maybe I'd try that. Maybe that would be different. I don't know. But let me tell you a story about when I was in high school. Now, we had the strangest place in high school to do our plays. For some reason, my high school had a little arena. I think it still has it too. Grace Lake High School, Grace Lake Community High School now. But it had an arena. It's not a huge arena, but you know, you could probably sit 300 people in it. That's where we did our plays. And it had columns. It had 8 columns behind the chairs. My friend Nick and I would sometimes be the last. He had keys to the school, actually, because he was in charge of the lighting and all stuff like that. And we were sitting there talking. This was late. This was in the fall. It's dark outside. The school had been done for hours and hours, and we just kept talking. Well, I found out later he was. I found out later that, and he even admitted this. The reason that we had those long talks all the time is he was trying to seduce me, and I didn't realize it. When people do that, when people come on to me and try to seduce me, I will have no idea. But he admitted to me later. That's why he stayed and talked to me. He was trying to seduce me, but he never got the nerve to do it. I always found that funny. But anyhow, let's go on. We were talking, and he told me, "Oh, did you know that we have a theater ghost?" I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, we have a theater ghost. I saw it the other night." He said, all the columns have light switches on them. And that's one of the things that he does before he left the arena. He would go and he would flip off all the light switches on the columns. And he said that when he was doing that, on the last one, he saw some guy standing across from him wearing overalls, I think they call it. And, okay, you know, when anybody tells me they've seen a ghost, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I didn't believe him. I thought he was trying to scare me. He's like, "I'll show you." I'm like, "Okay." So remember, there's 8 columns with light switches, and they're not the only lights. Uh, so when the lights were turned off, there would still be some light, so you could still see. So we got up and we walked out, and we flipped off the first light. We proceed on. Now here's what I'm thinking, because he's telling the story of how he saw the ghosts as he's turning the lights off. I thought that when we got to the last light, he was gonna like grab me and go boo, something like that. So I was prepared for it. I was, tensed up for it. So keep on turning off the light, turning off the light. So we get to the last light. So I'm prepared now. I'm ready. He flips it off. And the moment he does, I see this like yellow blob rise up to the ceiling and run across the ceiling. It happened really, really fast. So I blink and I look over at Nick. I said, "You're making me start to see things." He's what? You saw that yellow blob move across the ceiling? So he saw what I saw. Was it a ghost? I don't know. I have no way of knowing what it was. But I can tell you the one thing it was, that we both saw it. And only because I know I did not describe it, he described exactly what I saw. And I never saw it again. But I saw it that time. Now, other ghosts that I know that I've seen, I'm pretty sure were seizures. This is a story that's on my channel, but again, we're doing scary stories, so I'll tell you this one too. I had this friend named Toby who was really into ghosts and Ouija boards and stuff like that. And I was interested. I don't believe in that Ouija board stuff, but I went and I got one. Actually, I still have it. No, actually, no, I don't have that one. I have another one. I've never had a Ouija board. I forget what you call it. The thing that moves around. I'll call it the thing that moves around. But I went and I got one. I've never had it move. I tried. Okay, whatever. Then some really weird stuff starts happening. Now, I lived alone. And I went into my bedroom to sleep, and I looked in I always keep my closet doors open. I'm scared to death of closets. And I saw these little lights. Like when you kind of stand up too quickly and you see those little pinpricks, like little gold lights. They were like that, but it wasn't. They were moving into different places in the closet. I said, okay. Then this was the scariest one. I was taking a shower and always leave the shower curtain open because I'm scared of shower curtains too. I'm scared of the weirdest things. Hey, welcome back, Drew. So anyhow, I was taking a shower, and while I was taking a shower looking at the wall, I saw the shadow of an arm coming towards the shower curtain. I grabbed that shower curtain, throw it open, and nothing's there. I was scared out of my mind. I went and I washed my hair in the sink. I walked out of my apartment. I got dressed first, but I walked out of my apartment with my back to the wall the entire time and left the apartment like that. I didn't go back there for 2 days. I stayed at my friend Dan's house. He's like, yeah, you can stay over here. To go back to a comment somebody made earlier, when I was over at his house, we were playing Final Fantasy X. But yeah, I was completely scared. And my friend Matt, who would come over to the house and hang out with me, I didn't tell him about any of this at first. And he walked into my house and he says, "I don't want to be here." And I'm like, "What?" He says, "Something feels bad about your house. I don't. Let's go somewhere. Let's go to my house." Okay. But yeah, it wasn't a house. It was an apartment. And that is my goal. My goal. Those apartments went condo, and I should have bought them when they did, but because of all the weird ghost stuff happening, I didn't want to. Which now I realize could have completely been seizures. But my goal is to buy that condo back someday. See, I don't have big goals like going to Hollywood or running for governor. I just want to buy back this apartment I used to live in. That is my goal in life. Hey, maybe when we sue the hell out of our neighbors, well, not our neighbors, but the owners of the house, maybe I'll be able to buy that apartment. Better you move the shower curtain than an unseen force. That is very true. That is very true. But the ghost story that gets me the most is the one with the hand. No, the one with the hand. The one in the arena at high school, because somebody else saw it. Everything else that I've seen, I had only seen by myself. Now, my sister and I had thought we heard or saw a ghost when we were kids. We heard things moving around, and then our dog came. Our dog always slept in my dad's room with the door closed at night, always. And my dog somehow got out of the room through a closed door. We have absolutely no idea. That was a little freaky. She was a smart dog, but she wasn't that talented. She was a beautiful collie. I'm sure we had pictures of her somewhere. We got a collie now, much different looking, still beautiful. Old too. She's gonna be 15 this year, so she eats, sleeps, and goes to the bathroom. But she's lovable. Her name is Buffy. So our previous collie when we were kids was Lady. I still have dreams about Lady being alive. It's really weird. I also have dreams about my brother being alive. Those are always very, very weird. And I only dreamt about Drusilla, my beloved black cat, a few times. That was really upsetting. Here's something weird though. I can tell you this. Could have been completely my imagination, but there was something my brother always did. He would come into my room, which irritates the fuck out of me. Excuse my language there. But yes, because you guys have never heard that word before. But yes, look at it this way. He would come into my room, and to wake me up, he'd take his foot and put it on the foot of my bed and push down, and that would wake me up. Now, after he died for a while, oh Lord, after he died, for a while, occasionally when I was lying in bed, I would feel that, like the foot was pressing down on the bed. My brother was very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? He would have been. He didn't want people to grieve over him. My brother took a lot of drugs. He would always say, "Oh, I'm not really long for this life." Didn't take good care of himself. He was huge. He was like Brock Lesnar sized. And but yeah, he would say things like that, and but he would be mad if we knew that we were grieving over him because he just knew that he liked the life that he was living. So unfortunately, he has kids. So he liked the life that he was leaving, but he also had then deprived his children of a father. And some of them were pretty young, so it was pretty bad. The funny thing, my stepdad seemed to take it the worst. He and my mom went out to eat, and he was even crying at some point in a restaurant. So, but he was the one who found him, and I can't imagine what that would be like. I've never found anybody dead before. I don't want to. Remember when Brock Lesnar used the tractor to lift the ring? I do remember that. And yes, for those who don't know, pro wrestling has been my guilty pleasure since I was 10 years old. See, I will tell you that I was 10 once. I won't tell you how long ago that was, though. But yeah, it's been my guilty pleasure since I was 10, so I've always felt very odd about it. And last year's Last Man Standing match, SummerSlam. Yes. So, let me tell you guys another scary story. When I was 13, we lived way out in the country. I mean, way out. It took like over an hour to drive to the town. Our school bus ride was an hour and a half. And our nearest neighbors, I couldn't even tell you how close they were. It was up on top. It was in the hills, up on top of one specific hill. And we used to go out and explore the area. We would go hiking, find stuff. Like I said, few of the country stories I've told are ones that have happened to me. Like once we found this big barn, and we went into it and screwed around. But one of the scariest things that had happened was that my dad and my brother were fixing up an old Mustang. And my brother was going to drive it out. No, I'm wrong here. My dad was going to drive it further out into the country to take it for a test drive. And he did. I mean, it's up and down several hills, but then the car died. And this is just the kind of the ass my dad was. He walks back to the house and makes me and my brother walk back to the car and guard it. You guys need to go find the car and stay in it and wait for someone to come so they can jump it. It's like, yeah, okay. So you screwed up and we have to go fix your problem for you. And again, this was way out in the country. So the likelihood of someone driving by was pretty small. Anyhow, me and my brother went, we walked. It took a while to get there. And it was getting dark out. So we sit there in the car, we're waiting. And it gets dark and dark and dark. And there's no street lamps or anything like this. This is way out in the country. So we wait and we wait. And then my brother says, I need to go back to the house and get us something to eat or drink. And leaves me alone in a car in the middle of freaking nowhere with no light. So he leaves. And it's going to take him like an hour to get to the house and an hour to get back. It's probably like 10 o'clock at night, but again, it was in the fall, so it had gotten dark early. I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I see something. Now, there were a lot of cows out on the hill. I don't know why, but there were tons of cows out there. It wasn't, I didn't think it was a cow, though. Looking up in the trees, trying to see what's going on up in the trees. And I'm looking, and there's somebody out there. But remember how dark it is, so I couldn't really see much of anything. I had like a little tiny flashlight. I didn't want to use it because there's somebody out there. What am I draw attention to myself? I'm already drawing attention to myself because I'm sitting in a car in the middle of nowhere on a gravel road out in the country. So I'm sitting there, and the person is wearing white, which is very, very odd. I don't know, someone wearing all white just seems weird. And he gets closer, hiding behind trees, and getting closer and closer. And comes right up to the car. Scares the crap out of me. I grab, we had, it's not a tire iron, the tire cross, where you use to get the lug nuts off. And I grabbed it to defend myself in case he tried to open the car. The guy he's wearing a mask too. Like, what the fuck is going on? Pounds on the car window. So I grabbed the cross and I showed him the cross, and tell him that I'm gonna freaking break him with it. And finally he runs off back into the woods. I have no freaking idea what that was. It was terrifying, of course, but I'm a 13-year-old kid, and why would somebody be out in the woods wearing a mask? I mean, I always wondered if it was my brother doing something. I don't know. But gosh, that was scary. I've got to answer a few questions here that I didn't get to answer while I was telling you that story. Have I ever been to Cedar Point? I have never been to Cedar Point. I would like to go. Azrael's Mercy. Ultimate Warrior was my hero. Oh, I'm sorry. If you had asked the Ultimate Warrior if he knew me, he would said some bad shit about me. I used to be a journalist for a pretty major wrestling website, which, interesting enough, the Ultimate Warrior paid attention to. Because he was obsessed with people saying negative things about him. I mean, he was super obsessed with it. And he was in contact with the guy who owned the thing. And I wrote an article about him because I thought he was a jerk. And he had said about, and I don't want to get into any politics or anything like that, but he had insulted a minority group and said some pretty nasty things about them, and I wrote an article about it. and he read the article. And since he knew the owner of the website, he said he was yelling at them to take the article down. And the website owner, the article still exists. It's still up there on the website, but the owner of the website refused. And he sent me some nasty emails and stuff where I finally told him, you send me one more email and I'm going to sue you for harassment. I'll sue you for harassment for writing that article. Everything that I said in my article is factual. Oh, other than my opinion that you're an asshole. And yeah, he was not. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say this about someone you liked, but he was a jerk. And I got a lot of backlash from his fans, because his fans usually are pretty defensive of him. But I mean, I had interaction with the guy, and he was not a nice person. I don't think I've ever dealt, other than my dad probably, with a bigger jerk than the Ultimate Warrior. Shawn Michaels was a jerk too, but he could have just been having a bad day. Because a lot of other people have told me that Shawn Michaels was very nice to them. He was extremely rude when I first met him, though, and it bugged me because I was a big fan of his. I'm a huge fan of his, and he was just, well, he was doing the book signing in Chicago. There was a line all the way out of the bookstore, all the way down the street. People, and he was supposed to be doing a 2-hour book signing. And I was very, very far up in the line because we got there early. And first off, he shows up an hour and 15 minutes late. But they don't extend the signing. He shows up an hour and 15 minutes late. So instead of a 2-hour book signing, they changed it to a 45-minute book signing. And he also said that he was only going to sign so many books. So they went to a certain part of the line, which cut off right there. So everyone beyond that cutoff point, if that was the majority of the people there, who waited there for hours to get their book signed, couldn't get their book signed. So I got mine signed, and I was more religious back then than I am now. And you know, Shawn Michaels is supposed to be Mr. Super religious and stuff. And he wasn't personalizing the books either. He wasn't talking to anybody. And, you know, I was like, God bless you at the end of it. And he looks at me, he gives me this dirty look. He's like, oh, thanks. I said, really? That's it? Oh, thanks. I was just irritated. So what I did was, me and my friend, we stayed there. Until they got to the cutoff point. And that's when they said, okay, you know, everybody, sorry, book signing's over. I took my book and I went over to the first person. It was a little kid, like a 13-year-old kid or some 13, 12-year-old kid or something, was the first person that got cut off, and gave him my book right in front of Shawn Michaels and said, I don't want to read a book by an asshole who treats his fans like this. So that one hurt, because I mean, the man was incredibly talented, but you just don't treat your fans like this. I mean, people who do entertainment, as I know, because I do it too, I try to treat you guys as good as I can, because I appreciate what you do for me. You do a lot for me. You're keeping me company tonight, and I appreciate that. And always leave me nice comments. I try to interact as much as I can. And I feel bad when I can't. When I can't get to all the comments and stuff. Maybe something's going on. I haven't been able to answer a lot of comments the past couple days because of what's going on with my sister. But I feel bad when I do that, so, because I appreciate you guys very much. Aeromac, Aeromac. I'm sorry I didn't say hey when you came in. I apologize, but I see you now. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing great. Never meet your heroes. I guess that's kind of true. I have met some really nice. You know who the nicest guy I ever met? That was I don't know if you call. He's a wrestler. The nicest wrestler I ever met was Balls Mahoney. I don't know if you all know Balls Mahoney, but he when he was we were I was going to an ECW event. Before the event, he stayed out there talking to everybody. He was out there for a good half hour just talking to everybody. Uh, in the main event of the night, somebody got put through a table. So Balls Mahoney, after the event, grabbed all the pieces of the table and personalized autographed them for a lot of the fans that stayed there afterwards. Unfortunately, Balls Mahoney passed away a little while ago. But he was so nice, so appreciative, and if I am not incorrect, Balls Mahoney was the ECW World Champion once, but I'm not sure. But he's pretty cool. He was very, very cool. I liked him a lot. Yeah, I'm not surprised you haven't heard of him, Aramac. As far as I know, that he did ECW. He did the ECW revival too. But nice guy. And that's what I try to do. So, and I'm glad that it's appreciated very much. So, Bobby Heenan. I know you've heard of Bobby Heenan. He was super nice. When he did a book signing, huge number of people. He personalized every book. He talked to everybody, and this was really like late in his life. And when I told him it was an honor to meet him, because I mean, God, he's Bobby Heenan. He was so flattered, and he's like, he looked like embarrassed too and stuff. But Bobby Heenan was so freaking nice. I was upset when he passed away too. But it's 11:40 right now, so I'm probably gonna go until midnight. So I covered up the part of how many people in the room. I don't. I could. Again, it doesn't bother me. I like that you guys are here. It goes up and down, but I just keep on looking at it. It keeps getting my attention. Anyway, I put like a post-it note over it because it's like I don't want to see this. It's driving me crazy. I can tell you some other things. I won't tell you about Matthew. That was. That's it. If you want to, there's a video of the top 5 personal scary stories, and if you guys don't know about Matthew, you can look that up, and I can't tell the story. It's Matthew and I were teenage runaways, and when we ran away, our situation did not end very good. It actually ended up being like the most terrifying thing I've ever had happen in my entire life. So it's a top 5 personal killer orange cat stories or something like that. If you want to hear it, because I can't tell the story, I'll start crying. But I've had so many scary things happen to me. It's so weird. I missed the beginning of your stream. Are you going to release stories on a regular basis again? Yes. I wanted to get that started this week. Um, Unfortunately, my sister broke her leg, and that screwed everything up. So that's why I did the stream today. I wanted to explain it. I promised everybody a Wednesday video. I didn't have everything recorded. It would have taken me past midnight to finish all the editing. And I said I wanted to get something out today, so that's why I'm doing the stream. I'll explain again what I'll do, because some people might be in here that weren't in there before. It's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Wednesday will always be country videos. I don't know. Monday and Friday will probably just be different things, but Wednesday will be Country Wednesday. Now, what I'm planning on doing too, or doing shorts, and there might be like a little video of a cat, and I'll read a 2-sentence horror story that I wrote, but not the one I was talking about earlier. And those will be on Tuesday and Thursday. I'll probably use the weekend to write. And you would be surprised, two-sentence horror stories can be hard to write. Because you have to set up the story in the first sentence, as you know, and then kill it in the second. And it's sometimes very difficult to get that scenario. So I met Ric Flair too. He was very, very nice. It was at a event, and the wrestlers were coming in. They were just parking and coming in through this door. So that I got to meet a lot of people that night. I got to meet Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Vader, Harley Race, Mark Merrow, Paul Orndorff. I think Dusty Rhodes, Andre the Giant, unfortunately not. Andre the Giant is so interesting. So Hulk Hogan was there, but no one got to meet him. He came in through. They drove him in a limo through into the building. So, but he was the only one they did that. Everybody else got to had to walk in. But it was nice to walk in because I got to meet him. And Harley Race was scary as hell, though. He didn't say anything, but when I walked up and said hi to Vader, he just gave me this look. And if anybody knows anything about Harley Race, you don't. He was kind of known for being pretty badass. What they said, Andre the Giant said there were only 2 wrestlers that he was ever scared of: Harley Race and Haku. And I think everybody's scared of Haku. And if the stories about Haku are right, then they have a right to be scared of him. Other than that, I met Christopher Rice once. Met a lot of, you met a lot of pro wrestlers, yeah. And so it was really, really nice to be able to have done that too. I dated a pro wrestler once, but it's not anybody you would know, and I'm not gonna say who because I promised I wouldn't. Not anybody big. It was just a person that worked at an indie promotion. I love, and then what's his name? I used to be friends with. I would not say we weren't good friends. We talked online, and China. Oh, I don't think I could have handled China. But a Hornswoggle. But I knew him before he was Hornswoggle. He was called Short Stack, and knew him because he would wrestle NWA events, and he would stay back and talk to everybody. And he said a few people he liked talking to me because I knew so much about wrestling. So he emailed a few times. It was pretty cool. Frankie Kazarian was there. That was before he was popular too. I used to talk to Chris Sabin. Actually, this is going to sound so weird, but Chris Sabin was trying to make money, so he was selling tights that he wore in the ring, and I'm a huge Chris Sabin fan, so I paid $500 for a pair of his tights. I have since had to sell them because I needed money, but they were actually ring-worn tights, and I just thought that was so cool. It's like to buy. I mean, people have wrestling dolls, people have Hulk Hogan shirts, but I had Chris Sabin's tights. Thank you for sharing such personal memories with us. Oh, I enjoy it. I would talk my butt off. If I could, probably can. Probably, like I said, I'm probably gonna stop around midnight, try to get some rest. But I can talk forever. If we were a team, I'd be the brains and she'd be the brawn. That was just definitely true. I don't know how smart she was, but I never met China. But I always did like her. She had a very interesting personality. But and it's just such a big wrestling's such a big thing around here. But it's like there's a lot of independent stuff. I was kind of surprised when I came down here. But there's a lot of indie stuff going around. You'll see advertisements for these wrestling promotions that you've never heard of before. $6 entry. And she was a long, cool drink of water. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. It wasn't really like that as much. I mean, where I lived in Illinois, I know Chicago's a big wrestling area, but I lived in the northwest suburbs. It didn't seem to be that big of a thing there, and I would have liked to have tried it once, but it could be fun. But I don't know. Maybe I don't want to go through all that pain. But it was something that I thought about. And Bryan Danielson, he stole my ring song. My ring song was going to be the Final Countdown. When I was a kid, that's what I always thought. If I was a wrestler, I'd go to the ring with the Final Countdown. I thought it before Bryan Danielson did. But it's a. I just always, when I was a kid, when I'd hear the Final Countdown, I'd be like, "That's the song I'm going to the ring in." But I always liked that song. It's kind of a bad song, but it's kind of a good song too. Europe, hail the '80s. But yeah, that was going to be my song, and Bryan Danielson stole it from me. But it's okay. I mean, he didn't really steal it from me, but because nobody knew except me. I don't think I ever told anybody. But when I go for like a long walk or something, I make up stories and stuff in my head, or I'll imagine things. So I'd imagine me coming to the ring, and I'd imagine what kind of tights I was wearing. It was great. But the She-Hulk, that's pretty great. So I want to see if I can think of one. It's getting close to midnight. Maybe I could think of one more story to tell. Oh, I could tell you one story that I told. This was terrifying to me when it happened, but my brother and dad did something really mean to me when I was like 12 years old, and I had this stuffed parrot. I won it interesting enough at a Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if Chuck E. Cheese still has carnival games or anything, but we were at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was in the third grade at the time, so maybe I was like 8. And they had there's that game, the tic tac toe with the wiffle balls, and you get the they have the tic tac toe thing where you throw the wiffle ball into the slots, and you got to get tic tac toe to win a prize. And the middle slots were all red, so if you get the middle slots, you win the best prize. On the very first try, again at 8 years old, the very first try, I get all the red ones, so I wanted this parrot. I loved birds back then. I'm more into cats and foxes now, as you know. And I was so happy. It was the greatest thing, and my sister got one too. Took my mom more than one try to win it though, because I couldn't play again. Once you win, they don't let you play anymore. But I loved that parrot. 8-year-old kid. I had my parrot. I slept with it every night. Then when we lived out in the country, the same house as the car, the far out in the country one. I was in the basement, and there was a way to lock the basement. The basement door that goes outside, you could lock it from the outside. My brother did that somehow. And he was in the window, and he had my parrot. In the other hand, he had a lighter. And he started laughing at me and taunting me. Because he said, I'm going to burn the parrot. And he runs towards... We had a big metal can in the backyard that, you burn trash or stuff in it. He went into there... He put my parrot into the can and burned it to ashes. I was 12 years old. I was like, I can't even explain how distraught I was. And it wasn't just that he burned it, it's the way he taunted me. He was laughing. It was the evilest I've ever seen my brother be. And then I found out my dad told him to do it. So my sister was 6 at the time. No, I think she might have been 7. She's 5 years younger than me. And she was distraught too. So here I am in the living room crying my frickin' eyes out. My dad and my brother conspired to burn my favorite toy, and it was I can't explain how I was sitting there crying, and guess what my dad does? He comforts my sister, and she's like, "What?" And she just like that, just like Aramak did. What? She's like, he comforts her while I'm sitting over by myself on the other side of the room, like basically going into some sort of like shock because of what happened. But see, that's the way my dad was. He was a horrible person. Oh yeah, hey HF, hope you're doing good. Oh yeah, my dad, in my personal, my dad never liked me. He loved my brother and my sister, but he treated me like crap. He once threw a baseball in my stomach and laughed. He would get really, 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 really drunk. And do shit to us. This is one of the stories too, of mine. We lived in this house, and he got really, really wasted. And he was wearing this like bikini underwear, and that was all he was wearing. And he called us all into his bedroom and made us sit in the bed, and he took out his gun and started waving it at us. Me, my sister, and my brother. I was 13 at the time, so my sister was 8 and my brother was 15. And he's waving a gun at us. And we are very lucky that nothing. I don't A mankini. Just a bikini underwear. Yeah. He. It was. I wish you could imagine what that was like. Oh yeah, he's done that. He one time when I was 11, we went to a Showbiz Pizza. My brother and my sister had their birthdays close together, so we'd celebrate them together. There's some kids. We had a Bronco, so we took them all. This is in Virginia Beach, in the middle of the city. We leave. It's really late at night. Now, see, I was sitting in the car, not doing anything. Everybody else was acting up, fighting, doing shit like that. My dad stops in the middle of Virginia Beach and kicks me out of the car. His 11-year-old son, who was behaving, and drives off. Now, first off, he could have gone to jail for that. I wish the fucking asshole would have. Sorry. But then my brother made him come back and get me. But I walked about 6 or 7 blocks, like 11 o'clock at night, in the middle of the city. So, when my dad died 2 or 3 years ago, I really don't know. I really don't care. But it's like my sister told me that he was dead. I'm like, okay. Didn't affect me at all. And that's what I've told people who treat their kids poorly. I tell them about what happened when my dad died. I said, do you want, when you die and someone tells your kids that you're dead, do you want them to care? I didn't care. My sister didn't seem to care either. She was treated a little bit better than I was, but she was abused too. So he was well, yeah, it goes on. When I was, see, we had to live with him after the divorce. My parents got divorced. My mom had never had a job before, and my dad was in the Navy. He had a Navy lawyer in the divorce, and he got custody. And we were with him for about 4 or 5 years. When I was 15 and my sister was 10, we finally went to go live with our mom, though. And my mom doesn't think that she's a good mom, but my mom is an excellent mom. And been so much happier from that. And I only saw my dad once since then. He almost got his ass kicked. I'll tell you that, because at that point I was bigger and stronger than him, and he was this frail old skeleton. And we got into a fight, and we were just arguing. I don't like when people raise their voice to me, and he raised his voice to me, and I said, "You don't do that." I said, because when we went to live with our mom, it was because my dad abandoned us. Because his wife told him, it's either me, my stepmom, it's either me or the kids. One of us, and my dad chose his wife over us. So I told him, you lost the right to talk to me like that. I said, you do it again, and you're going to regret it. So he gets up in my face. And God, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. This is the moment that I've been waiting for my entire life. And I sat there, and I sat there. Well, I didn't sat there, we're standing. He was up in my face. And I turned around and walked out the door. For one reason. Everything that my dad did to me all my life was coming back to me when I was standing up like that. And if I would have punched him, I wouldn't have stopped. That's how much I hated him. If I would have punched him, I would not have stopped. And I didn't want to go to jail for killing my dad. So I did not punch him. And so right now, Um, it's I don't know. Sometimes I think of that moment and I wish that I would have punched him, but I think I did the right thing by walking out. Oh, did I miss saying hello to somebody? I hope not. I think I did. Looking back, oh Scully, hey, how you doing? I hope you're doing wonderful. Good to see you. Okay, hi. Um, gotta get me some more water. It's like dry mouth crazy today. Love the black screen with the kitty eyes. Well, thank you. Lana Scott, nice to see you. Okay, always great to see you. Uh, got here at the end though. I'm just probably think of one more story before I go though. Maybe something not as bad as all the dad stuff. You know, I'm over it too. So, don't think that I'm. Please don't think that this is something that I'm holding in and just mess me up or whatever. I've let it go. I absolutely let it go. Um, I just don't think about it anymore. So I'm surprised that I talked to you guys about it because before my dad was dead, he was already dead to me. So my mom, on the other hand, you would love my mom. All of you would. I think everybody who ever meets her loves her. She's a wonderfully nice person. She didn't have the best parenting skills, but she tried. So she always worked. After the divorce, she worked hard. See, my dad went the opposite way. He stopped working and lived off welfare. And he was a Navy. We were a Navy family too. So as I mentioned, he had a Navy lawyer. Product Azrael's Mercy. I'm the product of a Navy base as well. Just never knew my father. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Aramac. I appreciate that. Big shoulders. No, I guess it might sound like I was venting a little bit, but I don't hold on to all of that much. And barely ever think about him. So, my little brother, who lived with him his entire life, my little brother, he treated my little brother great. I mean, he treated him wonderful. When I was with him that last time before I left, I was living with him for 3 weeks because I didn't have anywhere else to live. We got a lawn mowing job. I mowed the entire lawn, and he went and took the money and bought toys for my little brother. You just haven't changed, have you? So, but yeah, I want to tell something different because I don't want to end. I don't want to end. And it's 12:05. See, I gone over, but I don't want to end with this. I want to end with something. Kids don't come with instructions. That's true. Thanks for sharing your life story. Always great to see you too. Yeah, lovely voice. Well, thank you. We were talking when you re-listened to the stream. I talked about my voice in the beginning. And yeah, I'm Aramac. Aramac, I definitely. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And I definitely, I always love seeing you. And I appreciate everything much. Gemstone M. It takes a lot more to control yourself, so you rock. Thank you. Thank you. I like to rock. I like the rock too, but that was really a bad pun, wasn't it? Little brother caught a break. He probably spared some heat from. I think what happened was, his wife left him not long after he chose her over us. So he didn't have anybody left. He alienated me, my sister, and my older brother. He only had my little brother, so he knew that he couldn't screw that up. So he did whatever he could for him. Me and my little brother, we do not talk. Him and my sister talk. I have no. He sent me a very mean email some years ago when I had a website up, and I mentioned my dad on it and how he was an ass and stuff, and he tried telling me off, and I put that little bitch in his place. So But yeah, we don't talk. He'll sometimes say something. When my dad died, I said, let's put the grudge aside. Because I could hold a grudge until the end of time. I said, so let's not dislike each other anymore. So I think we would be on good terms if we came in contact with each other. But I have no desire to talk to him. I don't think he has a desire to talk to me. And see, I keep talking about this, and I'm trying to end on a positive note, and I keep on going on and on. So it's something fun. Well, there was one time where I went to see Jeepers Creepers, where I watched Jeepers Creepers 2 when one of my friends was over, because I got a lot of horror movies. So we watched Jeepers Creepers 2, and he was like, I don't like horror movies that don't have boobs in them. Okay, so we watched after Jeepers Creepers 2, we watched one of the Friday the 13th movies, so he could see boobs. That was funny. Little bro doesn't know the torture you went through. He doesn't. I don't even know if he believes it, but my sister put him in his place. My sister told him, Dad might have been good to you, but he was not good to us. So, likes boobs too. It was just so funny that he said that. So, I have like 400, DVDs. I'm sure you could find one with 400 horror DVDs. I said, I'm sure you could find one with boobs if you want to. So we went with, I think it was Freddy versus Jason, which only has them in the beginning. And I'm sorry if anyone's offended by me using that word. It's just what he said, I try to be respectful and call people's body parts what they want to call them. Although don't give me names for your body parts, because don't think I'm going to use those. I definitely won't do it. Tell a creepy story. Well, there was this time where I spent some time in Florida with a friend, and I always had to ride, bitch on the motorcycle. But we would drive through the state park. I think it's called the Bulow State Park. Really late at night, and I loved it. It was beautiful. But one time we were driving and we saw something up on the side of the road. Now, first I thought it was when we got closer, I thought it was a boar. It was very strange, but we got closer and we got closer. It was a Florida panther. Now, most people in the world will never see a Florida panther in the wild. They're super endangered. I think there's only 50. That's when I saw it. There was only 50 that were left in the wild, and it was sitting on the side of the road. The engine on the motorcycle started to die. Or my friend was trying to scare me. I don't know, but the engine started faltering. I'm like, right by the panther, and I'm like, no, because I didn't know at the time. I don't even know now what the panther would have done if we were on foot. I guess maybe it would have ran away, but maybe if it was mean, it might have attacked us. But yeah, a Florida panther is one of the greatest moments of my life, because I got to see something that most people will never get to see. A Florida panther in the wild. And it was beautiful. Beautiful big kitty. Kitties be kitties. Oh, I should ask everybody, do you like what I've been doing with only using like the cat footage for the videos? I've been I I liked the theme. I was trying. I should probably advertise the fact that I show cats more. Cats seem to get views. Uh, it's in my name, Killer Orange Cat. But do you guys like when I do that? Do you think I should use other stuff? Because I thought that would be my thing from now on. I got to get more videos of the kitties. They don't always like to be videoed though. But I should get videos of our newest kitty, Nibbles. I don't think she hasn't been with us for even a year yet. It's coming up on close. I think I've had her in the videos, but Lana Scott, my kitty Indigo Sky is telling me it's time to go to sleep. We get up early. Take care of yourself, Cassie. You take care of yourself too. You have a good sleep. Her Mysteries 103, love it. Thanks, thank you. Yeah, it's. I've never really like kind of branded myself, you know, and so I thought, I mean, other than the original stories, that that's always been my thing. Uh, but yeah, the original stories, but nothing else. So yeah, like you all seem to like Kissy Faces back too. I love it. So yeah, it's something that I thought would be unique, would be different, and most people like to look at cats, but my views keep going down. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I know what it's because I'm inconsistent. So I think because Blue Spooky was like that for a while too, when he left YouTube for a while. So when he came back, he wasn't getting, his views were down, pretty much like mine are right now. But he started doing a video every day. So he works in with the algorithm, and it benefits him. So get on the regular schedule. I've been told doing the shorts could help, so I'll do those too. I'm not gonna do that one story though. It's so funny that I can find something controversial that I just can't do it. I can't even say it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So the Florida Panther, that was a positive story, but it might be a good thing to go away. But there's a couple new people jumped in. I didn't want to I didn't want to go away so soon. But yeah, shorts with little videos of the kitties, and maybe read to 2-sentence horror stories. My sister's going to do animations too. Animations of our characters from horror cliche theater. She had some pretty good ideas, so we got to get those written down, and do some more work with that. And I got to get my friend Brandon, my roommate, to do my thumbnails, because I don't know why it is. Whenever he does a thumbnail, the video does better than mine. I've been doing and whenever I do them, it does worse. I don't think my thumbnails are that bad, but it didn't seem a thumbnail for this one. I think is great, but he uses all these programs and stuff and to do it. And his thumbnails get more views for some reason. And again, I'm not, I need to do that, but it is a job, and I do get paid for it, and we do need the money. So the consistency should be good, and hopefully we'll do some growth. But I tell you this, guys and gals, that no matter what happens, if we get more views, more subscribers, and that stuff goes up, I'm not going to stop the personalizing that I do. I'm not going to become one person who just ignores people. I'm still going to have the relationship with you all that I have right now. Earth Worshipper, I love the kitty theme. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Ermac, in fact, panthers are a cousin of cougars, which have the highest tensile bite strength of any mammal. They can kill the shit out of alligators. Yikes. Well, then I'm glad that we didn't have to do anything with that one. And I'm the only cat person you're not allergic to. Well, I appreciate that. I like all of that. I gotta stop talking sometime, but it's too fun. But yeah, that's pretty much me. So anyhow, we went 17 minutes over. I told you the story about the panther. So maybe we can end on that one right there. So I want to say thank everyone for being here. I appreciate it very, very much. I've had a fun time tonight. I still can't taste anything. I don't know why. Um, and drink of water there. I wish I could taste my Pepsi. I don't have Pepsi that often, but I want to taste it. Oh, that sounds wrong. Okay, let's end on that because I think I just embarrassed myself. Oh God. All right, so thank you everybody from here. I will keep everyone updated on my sister's condition and stuff. Tell her hi from Aromac. I'll definitely ask her to do another cooking video. Yes, she's got a ton of footage that she just haven't done anything with. But I'll tell her you said that because her cooking videos can be fun. So I thought we would do a cooking video where she's cooking something and I'm acting like Gordon Ramsay and being, I thought that would be kind of fun and silly to do. So maybe we'll do something like that. But she's going to be working on my channel too. So we're going to try to get a whole lot of stuff together. And we will have a video on Friday. I 100% guarantee it. I might even do one tomorrow. So the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to get it situated next week. You have Monday video, Tuesday short, Wednesday video, Thursday short, and Friday video. We're going to do it next week. Unless something bad happens and a tree falls on me. We've been seeming to have some weird luck. But I'll keep you updated. And thank you, everybody. Gringo about to check on my cats. I'm always happy when you show up in two. And if you guys have never been to the Nightmare on Elm Street fandom, check it out. Gringo does good work there. He's absolutely amazing. He took what was kind of shabby in a way and just made it really, really cool. So definitely check it out. So Kristen Kelly, when I started watching your videos a year and a half, my cat would always watch with me. He loves your voice. Oh, I'm sorry you missed your. I'm sorry you lost your cat. That's always. I had to have. I've had similar situations. I know I'm very sad about that. So, okay. Good night, Killer, for Patty. Good night, Patty. Aromac, thank you very much. Kristen Kelly, good night, and get well soon, Killer. Thank you, and you do too, Double K. I'll call you Double K. Oh, K squared. Okay, sleep well, Drew. Sleep well, Drew. Okay, everybody, that I haven't been able to say goodnight to, who hasn't, said something goodnight to you all. I appreciate you being here. And should I say it? Whatever you do, make sure to check in your closet and check under your bed. Because you never know where Killer Run's cat might be hiding.